So I'm David Hobdey. I'm the Chief Executive of the St John's Foundation, which is a major charity in Bath, probably Bath's oldest charity. And we support both older people and disadvantaged children, the latter in large part by providing funding to support development. So we work very closely with the council in children's services and through the Education Authority, for example. But I also chair the Bath Bid, which obviously is very concerned with improving the business environment in the centre of Bath. And the Bid works very closely and in collaboration with the council.
So could you tell us what, in your opinion, Baines could do differently now to be a fairer and more inclusive place by 2030?
Well, obviously, particularly through St John's, we're very keen to see that inequality is tackled in a very big way, because that's central to improving the lot of very many disadvantaged people, and Baines is arguably one of the most unequal communities in the country. You know, there's a lot of deprivation in the region, as well as a lot of wealth too. And of course, we have the city of Bath, which is beautiful and attracts wealth and attracts a lot of people. And inevitably, because of the kind of city it is, we rely very much on lots of external visitors, both foreign and domestic. But I think that can lead to exclusion for a lot of local communities. It's not necessarily a city that attracts people living in the wider Baines region, and in particular those that come from more disadvantaged communities. So I think there's a lot we could do to focus on attracting a different kind of business, so to relieve the dependency on tourism, which of course we've seen hit so hard by the pandemic. So there's a lot more we could do, I think, to attract business into Baines, and to promote Baines as an area for business, because I think actually that helps drive some of that inequality. If you've got a strong, thriving and very balanced economy, that creates new jobs, and it creates, most importantly, aspirational ambition in disadvantaged children, which, as I say, is something that I'm particularly keen on through St John's, and I think that requires a whole societal approach. So that attracting more business means the tertiary education establishments playing their part as well. So encouraging and supporting the council, encouraging and supporting those institutions to do things which inspire more creativity, which inspire more people to become graduates, more people to be trained, and more people to stay in the region, more opportunity for those people to stay in the region. So I think those are the things that for me are particularly important.
Lovely, thank you. Do you think the renewal vision should set out a new approach to using assets and securing investment for the region?
I think that's essential, actually, because to do all the kinds of things that are necessary to improve the region, to promote it, for example, as a region that is good for businesses, to support the college and the universities in the way that I've described, all costs money that it's probably unreasonable to think that the council could find easily from normal sources. So I think there is a real need to be innovative in the way that financing is sought and raised, and to my mind that's come through some of the envisioning. So the envisioning work. So the notion that we raise municipal bonds or use other kinds of community funding, which could come from both philanthropists and from businesses, I think is really important, and I think there is real scope for something like that to work, especially given that there are many wealthy people that live in Bath. There are people that have cash, and of course, we live in a very low interest rate environment. So the notion of investing that in other things and be willing to take some kind of a risk or to use it philanthropically, I think exists.
Thank you. So if I asked you to pick one thing, what would you say is the most important thing that the renewal vision can do to ensure a zero carbon future for Bath and the North East Somerset area?
Well, I think for me, I think one of the biggest problems, particularly with the city of Bath, is its beauty is created by yes, green space, but by all its buildings as well. And of course, the buildings are very inefficient in terms of the way they have to be heated and the energy that gets lost and wasted. So I think it's very important actually that Bath, whilst preserving that heritage, also recognises the need to move with the times, and that may well mean making changes to buildings which to this point have been difficult because of that overwhelming desire to preserve the heritage. But I'm not sure as far as achieving zero carbon is concerned, whether we can really afford that aesthetic, given that the changes are relatively minor. I believe that there would be relatively minor changes that we could make that could make an enormous difference in terms of wasted energy.